Alien delegates watch in disbelief as humanity unleashes a devastating tactic never seen before, shattering their centuries-old contempt. The cold logic of survival warps into a primal fear. On Earth, a commander silently signals the countdown. To annihilation, a promise carved in fire. Humanity's final warning echoes across the void, forever altering galactic power. The great observation chamber of the Zairi Council throbbed with tension. Massive crystalline windows peeled back to reveal the distant shimmer of Earth, a mere blue marble in the vast emptiness. Around the circular dais, the highest delegates of the Galactic Assembly murmured uneasily. "Preposterous," hissed Jarath, his 6 eyes narrowing as a tactical hollow displayed the humans' movements. "They are mere primitives. How can they withstand even a single volley from the Arxian fleet?" The hologram flickered, zooming in on Earth's orbit. There, the Deathworld warships, a cluster of black monoliths covered in spiked armor, began an eerie ritual. Ships launched fleets of nanite swarms, invisible to all but the most advanced sensors, which tore apart incoming missiles mid-flight. "EMP fields active," reported the tactical officer, a young Zairi female. "Their vessels are cloaked in adaptive gravity well generators. None of our scans penetrate." Jarath slammed a claw on the console. "This is an insult. Their technology is a mockery of what true civilization should be. They must be crushed." The chamber darkened as a sudden burst of light from Earth's surface cut through space. A deep pulsing shockwave rippled outward, destroying the lead Arxian cruiser in seconds. Gasps filled the room. The council chamber erupted into chaos. Voices screamed orders. Voices pleaded for strategy. How did they do that? Jarath's voice cracked for the first time. "They weaponized planetary destruction." A younger counselor whispered, voice trembling. "Deathworld protocols. But no one was meant to survive once engaged." The hollow showed the Earth fleet's captain, a human woman clad in sleek, battle-worn armor, expression unreadable. "Commander." Celine Marduk's fingers hovered over a panel, her eyes cold, unyielding. On board the flagship Aegis, the war room was deathly silent except for the steady countdown echoing in comms. 10, 9, 8. "Fire everything," Celine ordered softly. "Make them remember why Earth is no longer the joke." Her voice was calm, but carried the weight of centuries of scorn and betrayal. In the alien chamber, Jarath staggered back, sweat beading his antennae. They will not relent. They have embraced their Deathworld legacy. The warships unleashed a tidal wave of destruction, nanotech viruses infecting systems, EMP bursts, crippling shields, and gravity wells pulling ships into crushing orbits. The Council could only watch in horror as their fleets were torn apart by a civilization they once dismissed. Celine's last transmitted words, cut by the roar of destruction, echoed in the void. "This is only the beginning." The Galactic order tilted. The mockery was over. Earth's Deathworld warships had spoken, and the galaxy would never be the same. As the dust of the first battle settles, alien commanders grapple with shock and shattered pride. Humanity's ruthless efficiency and Deathworld tactics reveal a species far beyond their crude reputation. On Earth, survivors prepare for the inevitable counterstrike, driven by memories of betrayal and hardened by unyielding resolve. The shattered remnants of the Arxian fleet drifted silently in the void, their twisted hulls blackened monuments to a failure. Inside the flagship Deathral, High Commander Ixazel paced, trembling with disbelief. How could the humans hold such ferocity?" he demanded, voice tight with rage and fear. "They turned death into a weapon." Beside him, a tactical analyst's bioluminescent scales dimmed. "Their warships are built on Deathworld engineering. Nanite swarms self-repair, EMP bursts disable systems before weapons can fire, and gravity wells manipulate space-time to crush enemies." "Childish superstition," Ixazel growled. "No race so primitive should wield such power." But they do, the analyst whispered. And their command structure, it's unlike any we've faced. Ruthless, adaptive, utterly merciless. Back on Earth, Commander Celine Marduk stood on the bridge of the Aegis, the battle's echo still humming through the ship's core. Her eyes flicked over the tactical displays, watching the scattered enemy remnants retreat. "Report," she demanded. Lieutenant Rao's voice was steady but weary. "Enemy casualties exceed 90%. Remaining forces are in disarray." Celine's jaw tightened. "Good, but this is only the first salvo." Her gaze swept over the bridge crew. Scientists monitored gravity well fluctuations, engineers recalibrated nanite swarms, and soldiers readied for the next wave. A voice crackled over comms. "Commander, we intercepted alien transmissions. They speak of Deathworld madness, disbelief in our tactics." Celine allowed a small, grim smile. Let them mock no more. In a hidden bunker deep beneath Earth's surface, Dr. Nia Patel studied a holographic map of interstellar trade routes. She touched a glowing node representing the Zairi homeworld. "They always saw us as relics," she muttered, "but we are the ghosts they forgot." Her fingers danced over a console, activating a quantum encryption sequence. "We hold the galaxy's future in our hands now." Meanwhile, in the Arxian fleet's war room, Commander Ixazel's mask of composure cracked. He clenched his fists, eyes wild. "They have warped the laws of war. Their Deathworld warships are nightmares made real." His voice dropped to a desperate whisper. "How do you fight a species that embraces death itself as a weapon?" In the void between stars, humanity's dark fleet gathered strength, ready to carve a new order from ashes. The galaxy had mocked Earth for centuries, but now Earth's Deathworld warships decided who lived. The Galactic Order teeters as alien factions scramble to understand Earth's Deathworld technology. Meanwhile, on the front lines, Commander Celine Marduk leads a brutal assault to break the enemy's will. Human warriors embrace sacrifice and cunning beyond alien comprehension, unveiling layers of hidden tech and ruthless protocols forged. In Earth's darkest history, the crucible of war tests humanity's soul and their enemies' faith in survival. The stars were silent witnesses as the Aegis led the Earth fleet deeper into the void. The black warships, jagged and unnatural, pulsed with latent power, cloaked in adaptive gravity wells that bent light and sensor scans alike. In the bridge's dim glow, Commander Celine Marduk's eyes burned with relentless focus. "Enemy signal. Chatter has grown frantic," Lieutenant Rao reported. "The Zairi and Arxians are consolidating forces near the Vexillon cluster. They're calling it the last bastion." Celine nodded. "Then that's where we break them." Around her, the crew moved like a well-oiled machine, anticipation and tension woven tightly into every breath. The Aegis was more than a warship. It was a symbol of Earth's defiance, a fortress forged from Deathworld engineering and human tenacity. "Deploy nanite swarms," Celine commanded. "Prepare EMP cannons for synchronized salvo. Gravity wells, ready to trap any fleeing vessels." The hum of power shifted to a roar as the fleet aligned their weaponry. Outside, the dark vacuum stretched infinitely, a canvas for human wrath. On the Arxian flagship Deathworld, the atmosphere was suffocating. Commander Ixel paced the command chamber, his 6 eyes darting nervously between screens. The holographic representation of Earth's fleet advanced inexorably. "We cannot withstand another direct assault," he said through gritted mandibles. "Their Deathworld warships render our weapons obsolete." A young tactical officer's voice quivered. "Sir, they are using EMP bursts to cripple our targeting arrays. Our ship's nano-shielding isn't responding fast enough." Ixazel slammed his fist on the console. "They fight with the madness of species who embrace death as armor. We must retreat, regroup. The council liaison hissed, "Retreat now, and risk losing the Vexillon cluster. The assembly will see it as weakness." Ixazel's antennae twitched in frustration. Weakness is death. The council chamber vibrated with tension. A telepathic message echoed, "Prepare for ground engagement. Their tactics extend beyond space." Deep beneath the Vexillon cluster's fourth moon, Earth's military scientists prepared a different kind of assault. Dr. Nia Patel, her eyes bright with determination, oversaw a team assembling the latest weapon, the GravNet. "Explain again," a soldier asked, wary of the machine humming with cold energy. "The GravNet deploys a microscopic lattice of gravity wells," Nia explained, her voice steady but fervent. "It creates an artificial Deathworld environment, pressure spikes, gravity fluctuations, nanite storms to incapacitate enemy ground forces. They won't know what hit them." Nearby, soldiers in reinforced exosuits loaded into drop pods, faces grim behind visors. They were humanity's tip of the spear, hardened by Earth's brutal wars and sacrifices. "Remember," Nia said softly, "we fight to survive, to reclaim what was stolen, to show the galaxy what happens when they mock Earth." The drop pods pierced the atmosphere of the fourth moon, cutting through toxic clouds. Inside, Sergeant Kai Moreno gripped his rifle, mind racing through every combat protocol. "Eyes sharp," he muttered. "Deathworld tactics aren't just for ships. They're coming for us." The pod slammed into the rocky surface. Kai led his squad through the ash and swirling gravity anomalies, the GravNet's influence warping the terrain into a nightmare. Alien troops scrambled for cover, disoriented by shifting gravity and nanite storms. Kai's squad opened fire, relentless and precise. Each shot a promise of Earth's unyielding spirit. Back on the Aegis, Celine monitored the ground assault through drone feeds. Her calm exterior masked a storm of emotions, grief for lost comrades, fury for centuries of scorn, and the cold clarity of command. "Status report," she demanded. Lieutenant Rao's voice was clipped. "Ground forces are advancing. GravNet is devastating enemy morale and defenses." Celine's gaze hardened. "Good. Keep the pressure. No mercy." She turned to the communications officer. "Send this message to all galactic factions. Earth's Deathworld warships are no longer a myth. They are your reckoning." Her voice echoed through the void. "We are the fire you refuse to see, the end you never believed would come." Meanwhile, within the shattered council chambers of the Zairi, the atmosphere was one of panic and despair. Ambassador V. Shark trembled, whispering to the elders, "How do they wield such horrors? Their tech defies our best minds. Their warriors fight with the fury of a species cornered," one elder replied, voice brittle. "We underestimated Earth. We judged a culture by appearances, never understanding the crucible that forged them." The room fell silent, haunted by the weight of their failure. In the chaos of battle, alien ships tried desperately to regroup. Gravity wells ripped vessels from orbit. EMP pulses blackened entire squadrons. Nanite swarms tore through armor like acid. The Aegis moved through the battlefield like a shadow of death, unleashing synchronized strikes that broke the enemy's formation. Celine's voice rang out over the comms, calm and commanding. "Fallback is not an option. Hold the line. Press the advantage." In a quiet moment, deep within the Aegis, Celine accessed a secured terminal. There, a data stream revealed the truth behind Earth's secret weapon, the Nemesis Protocol, a hidden command buried in humanity's ancient military archives. The protocol's essence was brutal. Embrace death to overcome it. Sacrifice everything for survival and weaponize the planet's harshest environments. Selene whispered, "They mocked our death world. Now they will die by it." The battle raged, each pulse of energy and explosion, a testament to humanity's fierce resolve and ancient grudges. As alien fleets faltered and retreated, the galaxy witnessed a brutal truth. Earth's Deathworld warships had not only returned. From the brink, they were the crucible forging a new order in the stars. Alien alliances begin to fracture under the relentless pressure of Earth's Deathworld warships. Meanwhile, human soldiers push deeper into hostile territories, their sacrifices echoing the brutal history that shaped their resolve. Commander Selene confronts the ghosts of past betrayals while leading a desperate mission to secure a critical strategic stronghold. The galaxy watches as Earth's warriors rise from ashes, unyielding and terrifying. The smoldering ruins of the Vexillon cluster's fourth moon stretched beneath a cracked sky. Gravity anomalies flickered erratically, a silent reminder of the Gravnet's destructive presence. Ashes drifted like spectres caught in a dying breeze, blanketing the barren landscape in ghostly white. Sergeant Kai Moreno moved cautiously through the ruins. Rifle raised, eyes sharp beneath the flickering glow of his helmet HUD. His squad trailed behind, weary but resolute. "Command check-in," Kai whispered through comms. "Position secured, no enemy in immediate vicinity. But the Gravnets, making this place a nightmare. Nanite swarms still active, gravities shifting. Stay alert." "Understood," came Selene's steady voice over the channel. "Hold position. Reinforcements en route." Kai exhaled, scanning the horizon. Each step forward felt like wading through a memory of battles long past and betrayals that had burned Earth into the death world it was today. Thousands of light years away, the fractured Council of the Zeri convened in emergency session. Ambassador V-Shark stood before the gathered elders, his many eyes reflecting exhaustion and dread. "The humans have broken our lines," he said, voice cracking. "Our fleets scatter like ash in the wind." Elder Threx, the oldest among them, nodded grimly. "They wield death itself as a weapon. Their warships are nightmares clad in gravity and nanotech. Our best fleets fell before they even fired." "We must call for unity," another elder urged. "All factions must band together before Earth's Deathworld warships consume us all." The shark's antennae twitched. Unity? After centuries of scorn and dismissal? They saw us as gods. Now we are their prey. The room fell silent, haunted by the irony of their downfall. On Earth, Commander Selene Marduk stood alone in the observation deck of the Aegis, eyes fixed on the swirling chaos of space battles beyond the reinforced glass. She felt the weight of history pressing on her chest, the betrayals, the mockery, the endless wars that had forged humanity into a species of iron will. Her mind drifted back decades to the dark years when Earth's colonies were abandoned and her people branded primitive and expendable. The galaxy's elite left them to rot on a death world, harsh, brutal, unforgiving, but from that crucible humanity had risen. Selene clenched her fists. "They never understood," she whispered. "They never saw the fire beneath the ashes." Her comm crackled, pulling her back. "Commander, satellite scans show movement near the old bastion." Selene's eyes narrowed. "Prepare the squad for insertion. This stronghold is key. If we hold it, we control the Vexillon cluster. In the, war-torn skies above the old bastion, the horizon glowed with the flashes of distant explosions and ruptured atmospheres. Drop pods streaked through toxic clouds, piercing the turbulence as if defying the very elements. Kai Moreno's squad descended once more, landing hard on the scorched surface. The smell of ozone and burning metal filled their senses. "Move. Out," Kai ordered. "Intel says enemy reinforcements are gathering inside the stronghold. We push through, secure the perimeter, and wait for backup." The gravity shifts warped their footing. Invisible waves tugged at their armor, but they advanced with practiced discipline. Inside the old bastion's shattered corridors, alien resistance was fierce. The Zeri and Arxians fought with desperation and ferocity born of fear. Kai's squad engaged in close-quarters combat, blaster fire echoing off jagged walls, punctuated by the eerie hiss of nanite swarms corroding everything they touched. "Grenade out!" Kai shouted, tossing a pulse charge that detonated with a thunderous shockwave, scattering enemy ranks. Despite losses, humanity pressed on, each soldier a blade forged by loss and vengeance. Back on the Aegis, Selene coordinated from the bridge, her mind racing through tactical simulations. The old bastion was more than a fortress. It was a symbol, a last anchor point for alien forces desperate to survive. "Deploy the new gravity well arrays," she ordered. "Seal off all exits. Let no one escape the crucible." Lieutenant Rao nodded, fingers flying across controls. Arrays deployed, gravity fluctuations increasing, enemy ships caught in cascading fields. Selene allowed herself a brief moment of grim satisfaction. Good. Now, the real test begins. In the Alien War Council, panic was spiraling into chaos. Vishak's mind raced as he sent telepathic pleas for aid. "Our fleets are shattered. The humans have turned death into a weapon against us. We must surrender." The elders recoiled. In horror, surrender to primitives never, but to fight is to die. Vishak closed his eyes, feeling the crushing weight of defeat. Deep inside the old bastion, Kai's squad reached the central command chamber. The alien commanders had fortified the position, but humanity's nanite swarms were relentless, dissolving defenses with microscopic precision. Kai's comm buzzed. "Commander Marduk, we've secured the chamber, holding position." Selene's voice was steady. "Hold fast. Reinforcements are en route. This victory will be our message." Kai glanced around the dimly lit room, catching his breath. For a moment the brutal war faded, replaced by a solemn quiet. He whispered, "For Earth, for all who were mocked." As the battle's echoes faded, Earth's forces tightened their grip on the Vexillon cluster. The galaxy watched in awe and fear as humanity emerged from the ashes of betrayal, unyielding and terrifying. Selene stood once more on the Aegis's observation deck, eyes burning with the fires of resolve. "They called us primitive," she murmured. "They called us weak, but we are the crucible, the ashes from which all life will be forged anew." With the old bastion secured, humanity presses into the fractured heart of enemy territory. Alien factions splinter under pressure, old rivalries erupt, and fragile alliances collapse. Commander Selene's leadership is tested by betrayal and loss, while Sergeant Kai confronts the toll of endless war. As the galaxy's political order trembles, Earth's Deathworld warships carve a grim path forward, unrelenting and resolute. The Vexillon cluster burned beneath an artificial dawn, the horizon fractured by debris and smoldering wrecks of battles long fought and won. Aboard the Aegis, the hum of the ship was a constant backdrop to Selene's storm of thoughts. She stood alone in the command deck, watching the fractured remnants of alien fleets drifting helplessly in the void. "Reports are coming in," Lieutenant Rao said, voice taut with urgency. "Zairi and Arxian fleets are fracturing. Factions turning on each other. The alliance is collapsing faster than we anticipated." Selene's eyes narrowed. "Good. Divide and conquer isn't just a strategy, it's a promise." Below, on the grim surface of Vexillon's second moon, Sergeant Kai Moreno led a patrol through the twisting canyons of the Deathworld terrain. "Eyes up," Kai warned, the gravity shifts tugging at his boots, threatening to throw him off balance. The squad moved like ghosts, silent and deadly, scanning for movement in the shadows. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the ground. An EMP pulse rippled through the atmosphere, shutting down their HUDs and comms. Kai's heart hammered. "Brace yourselves! Electronics down! Manual mode!" From the shadows, alien ambushes emerged, cloaked in adaptive nanotech, blending seamlessly into the environment. In the Alien War Council's fractured chambers, tensions reached a boiling point. Vishak paced relentlessly, his antennae twitching. With anxiety, Our fleets are not just broken, they are betraying each other. The Zairi demand surrender, but the Arxians refuse. Elder Threx slammed a clawed hand on the table. If we cannot unite, we are doomed. Another elder hissed. Earth's Deathworld warships have shattered our pride and our power. We face extinction. Vishark's voice dropped to a whisper. We underestimated them, terribly. On Vexilon's surface, Kai's squad fought fiercely in pitch darkness. Blaster bolts traced eerie arcs, and the clang of metal echoed as close combat weapons met in brutal duels. Kai's rifle roared, firing pulse rounds designed to disrupt alien nanotech. But the enemy's stealth made every engagement a harrowing test of nerve. "Grenade!" a voice shouted. Kai dove behind a jagged outcrop as a pulse charge exploded nearby, sending shards of rock and metal flying. Pain seared his arm. He ignored it. Survival was all that mattered. Meanwhile, Selene's strategic mind spun a new plan. The Deathworld warships could not only dominate the battlefield, they could control entire star systems through gravitational manipulation and targeted EMP strikes. We'll use the gravnet arrays to isolate the enemy command ships, she ordered. Cut their communications, shatter their coordination. Her officers nodded. Deploying now. Across the starfield, massive gravity wells flared to life, twisting space and disrupting alien vessels, dragging them into deadly orbits where escape was impossible. Back in the shattered corridors of the old bastion, Kai's squad secured captured enemy tech. Scientific teams rushed in to analyze nanite samples, seeking weaknesses. Dr. Lena Voss, a lead xenobiologist, worked feverishly. Their nanotech adapts fast, like a virus evolving under pressure. We need to develop countermeasures before they overwhelm us. Kai watched her, a silent respect growing. This war's not just about guns, it's about who controls the unseen. In the alien council chamber, paranoia spiraled. Vishark found himself isolated, his warnings ignored. One faction leader snarled, "Your caution will be our death. We must strike back with everything we have." Vishark's voice cracked. "You don't understand. They're not just attacking, they're reshaping the battlefield itself." But his words fell on deaf ears. The fragile alliance shattered. Skirmishes erupted between former allies as desperation turned to chaos. Selene received reports of rogue alien ships turning on each other, their formations collapsing into reckless disarray. Her expression hardened. "We don't need to destroy them all. They are destroying themselves." On Vexilon's surface, Kai faced his own crisis. A surprise ambush forced his squad into a deadly retreat. "Fall back! Regroup at the extraction point," Kai ordered. Bleeding but unyielding. The path was a gauntlet of twisted metal and deadly traps, but humanity's soldiers fought with ferocity born from centuries of survival. Every step forward was a step against extinction. The Aegis's bridge was a hive of activity as Selene coordinated a multi-pronged assault. "Gravity wells are holding," Rao reported. "Enemy command ships are trapped." Selene's eyes burned with cold determination. "Begin EMP cascade. Disable their systems completely." Massive pulses rippled through space, shutting down alien ships' engines, weapons, and communications. Silence fell, a heavy, deadly silence, but victory came at a cost. Kai's squad limped back to base, scarred and exhausted. He looked at the faces around him, friends lost, futures uncertain. "We're the ashes," Kai muttered, "but from ashes fire will rise." In the alien council chamber, defeat was palpable. Elder Threx's voice was hollow. "We face annihilation, not just by Earth's hands, but by our own fractured pride." Vishark nodded slowly. "Perhaps there is still hope, but only if we understand what we are truly facing." Selene stood once more on the observation deck, gazing at the distant stars. "They mocked Earth," she said softly. "But now the Deathworld warships decide who lives and who burns." Victory's shadow grows longer as humanity presses deeper into alien space. The cost of war etches itself into every soul. Commanders wrestle with hard choices, soldiers endure relentless trauma, and scientists uncover terrifying new alien technologies. Across fractured factions, desperation breeds. Dangerous gambits. Humanity's Deathworld warships don't just destroy, they force enemies to confront their own broken legacies. The void beyond the Aegis was a cold, unyielding silence. But inside, the war echoed with the weight of sacrifice. Commander Celine gazed at the holographic star map hovering before her, a constellation of shattered fleets, isolated worlds, and flickering outposts. Each dot represented not only a strategic objective, but a graveyard of hopes and dreams. Rao's voice cut through the somber atmosphere. The enemy's remnants have consolidated around the Gantor rift. Their desperation is palpable. We estimate. They've deployed the Nightshade protocol. Celine's brow furrowed. Nightshade, the rumored countermeasure against our Gravnet arrays. We need more data. On the surface of Gantor 4, Sergeant Kai Moreno adjusted his visor, the alien sky streaked with strange auroras from recent energy discharges. Movement ahead, he whispered, signaling his squad to halt. Nanite swarms hovered above the jagged rocks, swirling clouds of microscopic machines that adapted to every assault, repairing alien armor and reconfiguring defense grids in real time. This isn't just a war, Kai muttered. It's a battle against evolution itself. The squad advanced carefully, each step measured and deliberate. A misstep could trigger the nanite to unleash toxic clouds or disrupt their neural implants. Back on the Aegis, Dr. Lena Voss pored over the latest samples. The alien nanotech was unlike anything human science had encountered. It's a form of synthetic life, she explained to Celine, self-replicating, self-modifying. If left unchecked, it could terraform entire planets or erase us. Celine nodded. We need a countermeasure fast, Lena. This war isn't just about firepower anymore. Meanwhile, the Alien Council's chambers had devolved into chaos. Vishak and Elder Threx confronted the Council's fracturing factions. We cannot defeat humanity by strength alone, Vishak argued. Their warships are Deathworld creations, honed by centuries of survival on Earth's harshest terrains. They are built not just to fight, but to endure. Threx's claws clenched. We underestimated them. Now we face extinction if we do, not adapt. From the shadows, a new voice spoke, a rogue faction leader with eyes burning with fanaticism. Adapt or surrender? I say we use the Nightshade. Let humanity drown in darkness. Celine's team prepared a strike against the Gantor rift. The Aegis and its sister warships formed a tight formation, their Deathworld technology humming as gravitic projectors and EMP emitters powered up. This mission will be our deadliest. Yet, Celine warned her officers, expect the unexpected. Our enemy's desperation makes them unpredictable. On Gantor 4's surface, Kai's squad encountered a new horror, a colossal biomechanical beast lumbered from the shadows, a fusion of organic muscle and nanotech armor. Its eyes glowed with malevolent intelligence. "Cover me!" Kai shouted, raising his pulse rifle. The beast charged, tearing through rock and metal with terrifying force. The squad's grenades detonated against its armor, barely slowing it. Kai's mind raced. This is no mere soldier. It's a living weapon. In orbit, the Aegis deployed drone swarms designed to disrupt the Nightshade nanite clouds. The drones emitted targeted frequencies, fracturing the cohesion of the nanomachines. Rao reported, drones are holding, but the enemy is adapting faster than anticipated. Celine's jaw tightened. Push harder. We need to break their control before the rift becomes a fortress. On the Alien Council floor, desperation turned to betrayal. Factions turned on one another in brutal skirmishes, each blaming the other for the rapid collapse. Shark's voice grew grim. They are killing themselves faster than we can kill. Them, Kai's squad found themselves trapped in a canyon, the biomechanical beast blocking their only escape. "Hold your ground," Kai commanded. "Aim for the joints! Those red servos might be weak points!" The squad fired coordinated bursts, and the beast howled in rage, thrashing wildly. Kai dodged a crushing blow, feeling the heat of nanotech plasma sear past him. "We can't keep this up," one soldier gasped. Kai's voice was steel. "We don't have to win, we just have to survive, and live to fight another day." Meanwhile, Lena Voss's lab cracked a breakthrough. The nanotech's core programming is vulnerable to a specific EM frequency, she told Celine. "If we can weaponize it, we could disable the nightshade and turn it against them." Celine's eyes gleamed with hope. "Prepare the prototype, we'll deploy it on the front lines." The Aegis launched the experimental EM pulse, an invisible wave slicing through the rift's defenses. Alien ships shuddered as their nanotech systems faltered. "Nightshade collapsing," Rao confirmed. "Enemy coordination is breaking down." Celine allowed herself a rare, small smile. "This is our moment." But victory's price was etched in blood. Kai's squad escaped the canyon, but not unscathed. Heavy losses weighed on every step. Kai stared at the horizon, the alien sky darkening. "We're the hunters," he said softly, "but every victory takes pieces of our souls." In the alien council chamber, Elder Threx spoke with bitter resolve. "We have lost the rift, but the war is far from over. Humanity's Deathworld warships have shown us the cost of underestimating our prey." Vishak nodded slowly. "We must find a new way, or be consumed." Celine stood once again on the Aegis's observation deck, the stars beyond seeming colder, harsher. "They mocked Earth," she whispered, voice steady but filled with iron. "Now, every step forward burns with the echoes of the fallen. Humanity's relentless advance forces alien factions into unprecedented desperation. On both sides, fractures deepen, alliances crumble under pressure, and the weight of war fractures minds and morals. Amidst betrayal and shattered hopes, a hidden weapon, in human hands, threatens to rewrite the galaxy's fate. Sacrifices mount as commanders, face impossible choices, and soldiers wrestle with the meaning of survival. The cold, metallic walls of the Aegis thrummed with an eerie quiet, broken only by the rhythmic hum of gravitic drives and distant echoes of gunfire across the rift. Commander Celine paced her command deck, her eyes tracing the sprawling holographic map dotted with red blips, hostile fleets, crumbling outposts, and potential ambush zones. "Rao," she said sharply, "what's our intel on the Tazari's next move?" The young tactical officer's fingers danced across the console. Unpredictable, but intercepted chatter suggests they're consolidating a final offensive around the Kaleth system. They've been attempting to forge alliances with the Karath. Warlords, rumored to command massive bio-siege platforms. Celine's jaw clenched. If they succeed, that could cut off our supply lines. Below deck, in the dim light of the Aegis medical bay, Sergeant Kai Moreno sat on a stretcher, his uniform stained with soot and blood. Private Hale, the medic, worked quietly, cleaning wounds, his expression grave. "You did well out there," Hale said softly, "but this war's wearing on you." Kai's eyes, tired yet burning, met the medic's. "Every time we win, we lose something more. It's like we're trading pieces of ourselves for scraps of victory." Hale nodded, understanding. "And yet you keep fighting." Kai gave a hollow smile. "Because giving up isn't an option." Meanwhile, in the shadowed depths of the alien Gantor Rift command post, Elder Threx's voice rang with urgency. "The humans' Deathworld warships are not just vessels of war. They are symbols of defiance, resilience forged in the crucible of Earth's harshest environments." The Council's murmurs grew into heated debate. Vishak stepped forward, eyes blazing. "Their technology is adaptive, nanotech swarms, gravity manipulation, EMP fields. We can't match them in a straight fight." A younger faction leader sneered. Then we use what we have left. Guerrilla tactics, sabotage, and psychological warfare. We must turn their own fear against them. Threx sighed. Fear is a weapon, but it is also a weakness. In a secret laboratory aboard the Aegis, Dr. Lena Voss and her team worked feverishly on the EM Pulse prototype. This device could disrupt the Tazari's nanotech control networks for minutes at a time, Lena explained, sweat glistening on her brow. But it's unstable. If we overuse it, we risk frying our own systems. Celine entered, voice steady but urgent. Lena, the next strike hinges on that pulse. We cannot afford to hesitate. Lena met her gaze. Then we better be ready to face the fallout. On the surface of Kaleth, Kai's squad prepared for the worst. The Kareth bio-siege platforms are unlike anything we've seen, Kai briefed. Organic, massive, with the ability to mutate their structure mid-battle. Our usual tactics won't work. Soldier Jara, her expression fierce, tightened her grip on her pulse rifle. Then we adapt. We always do. Suddenly, alarms blared. Throughout the Aegis, Rao's voice crackled over the comm. Commander, incoming enemy fleet. They're deploying stealth cloaks and using EMP bursts to disrupt our sensors. Celine's fingers flew across the console. Activate countermeasures. Deploy drone swarms and raise gravity shields. The battle erupted in a violent symphony of light and sound. Stealth ships flickered in and out of visibility, launching coordinated strikes on the human fleet. The Aegis shuddered as EMP pulses rippled through its systems, momentarily knocking. Outpower in critical sectors. Kai's squad, caught in the chaos on Kaleth's surface, faced swarms of mutated creatures, organic beasts fused with alien tech, their eyes glowing with malice. Hold the line, Kai shouted, firing into the advancing horde. Back on the command deck, Celine felt the weight of command crushing down. Rao, status report. Systems recovering, but losses are mounting. We can't hold this position much longer without reinforcements. Celine gritted her teeth. Then we make this stand count. In the alien council chamber, cracks widened. V-Shark accused rival factions of betrayal, while Threx struggled to maintain order. Your divisions will be our undoing, Threx warned. But fanatic voices rose, demanding radical action. Lena's team unleashed the EM Pulse prototype, flooding the rift with waves of electromagnetic interference. Enemy nanotech faltered, their bio-siege platforms stuttering mid-mutation. Kai's squad seized the moment, pushing back the mutant horde with renewed vigor. Yet victory came at a brutal cost. Kai watched as comrades fell, their faces frozen in silent screams. We're winning, he whispered to himself, but what kind of victory costs so much? Celine stood on the observation deck, the stars beyond cold and indifferent. They mocked Earth for centuries, she said softly. But now, our warships decide who lives. Tensions escalate as hidden treacheries unravel within the alien. Coalition, human commanders confront brutal moral choices amid tightening noose of war. The weapon Dr. Lena Voss designed reveals unexpected power and danger. As the battlefield shifts, old alliances shatter and new uneasy pacts are forged in desperation, setting the stage for a decisive clash. The Aegis's hull groaned under the strain of relentless assault, the air thick with ozone and burning metal. Commander. Celine stood at the center of the war room, her silhouette outlined by flickering holodisplays. Around her, officers scrambled to adjust battle plans, voices overlapping with tension and fatigue. Reports indicate a breach in our forward perimeter. Near the rift's edge, Rao said sharply, voice steady but grim. Celine nodded. How severe? Enemy stealth units slipped past our sensors, launching coordinated strikes on supply convoys. They're aiming to sever our lifeline to Earth. Celine's fists clenched. Then we cut their supply routes first. Kai, prepare your squad for a counterstrike. We can't let them choke us out. Kai's squad moved swiftly through Kaleth's devastated terrain, shadows long under the fading light. The planet's surface bore the scars of war, craters, twisted metal, and the sickly shimmer of bioengineered growths spreading like a plague. "Keep alert," Kai whispered through comms. "Stealth enemies are hunting us." Suddenly, a pulse wave rippled through the air, an EMP blast designed to disable human tech. "Systems failing," Soldier Jara shouted, struggling to recalibrate her. "Armor's shielding." Kai felt the cold squeeze of fear. "Fallback formation. Use gravity stabilizers and manual controls." They scrambled to safety, bullets and bio-creatures closing in from all sides. Meanwhile, aboard the Aegis, Dr. Lena Voss stared at her EM pulse device, now humming ominously. "On the lab bench, Commander," she said, voice steady though eyes flickered with doubt. "The pulse is affecting more than just enemy nanotech. It's destabilizing local gravity fields." Celine appeared behind her, expression hard. "We need results, Lena. Every second counts." Lena hesitated. "If we push it too far, we risk a cascade, gravitational collapse that could tear apart. This sector of space." Celine's eyes locked with hers. "Better a risky collapse than losing everything." In the Alien War Council, the air was thick with suspicion. Vashak paced angrily, accusing the Karath faction of secret deals with human insurgents. "You betray your own kind for scraps?" he spat. The Karath leader's voice was a low growl. "We survive by any means necessary. The humans are weapons, and we intend to use them against you." Elder Threx, weakened but resolute, tried to mediate. "This infighting weakens us. The humans grow stronger with each division." But no one listened. Kai's squad caught a break, intercepting a transmission revealing a mole in the alien ranks feeding humans vital intelligence. "Why?" Jara asked, disbelief in her voice. Kai stared at the decrypted data. "Because even in war, some seek survival over loyalty." Back on the Aegis, Celine made a decision. "We launch the EM pulse at maximum capacity," she ordered. "Focus on the rift's heart. It's a gamble, but it may break their biosiege platforms once and for all." Lena activated the device, energy crackling through the chamber. Suddenly a shudder rocked the ship, gravity fields fluctuating. Rao warned, "Systems destabilizing." The crew gritted their teeth as the Aegis fought to maintain integrity. On Kaleth, the tide turned. Alien bio-creatures convulsed, their mutated forms collapsing as the EM pulse disrupted their control networks. Kai's squad pressed the attack, driving the enemy back. Yet as silence fell, a new threat emerged, stealth bombers descending in a deadly spiral. "Incoming!" Kai shouted, diving for cover. Explosions tore through the ground, shaking the planet's surface. In the alien council chamber, the final fracture broke. Shark denounced Elder Threx, seizing command by force. "We will destroy the humans or—" "Uday trying," he declared, eyes burning with fanaticism. Threx, defeated, whispered, "May mercy find us all." As the dust settled over Kaleth, Celine surveyed the battlefield through cracked viewport glass. "Earth was mocked," she murmured. "But now our Deathworld warships decide who lives." Her voice held a quiet promise, one that chilled even her closest allies. In the war's final, devastating moments, humanity faces overwhelming odds and sacrifices everything to shatter the alien coalition's grasp. Commander Celine leads a desperate all-or-nothing assault aboard the flagship Deathworld warship. Old betrayals surface and unexpected alliances form. With raw determination and unyielding spirit, Earth's warships turn the tide, proving that the once-mocked planet's resolve decides the fate of the galaxy. The Aegis drifted near the heart of the rift, battered but unbroken. Outside, swirling vortexes of dark energy and twisted space threatened to swallow them whole. Celine stood at the helm, eyes locked on the approaching alien flagship, the monstrous Deathworld warship Vorkan, a living fortress built from the Bones of 1,000 conquered worlds. This is it, Selene whispered. Everything we fought for, everything we lost, it comes down to this moment. Beside her, Kai tightened his grip on his rifle, ready to lead the boarding party once the shields fell. Inside Vorkan, chaos reigned. Shark paced the command chamber, fury and fear warring in his eyes. "We underestimated the humans," he hissed. "Their resilience is a virus we cannot cure." But defiance flickered in his second-in-command, the Karath leader who had once betrayed his own faction to save his people. "Perhaps it is time to change the course of this war," the Karath whispered. "A mercy born from defeat," Vashak snarled, but the threat of mutiny simmered beneath his fury. Back on Aegis, Lena Voss initiated the final sequence of the EM pulse, her hand steady despite the ship's violent tremors. "This will disable their core systems," she said, "but it will also cause a massive gravitational ripple. We may not survive the backlash." Selene's voice was calm but resolute. "Then we ensure the galaxy remembers Earth's price." The boarding party launched into the enemy ship's core, fire and shadow dancing around them. Kai and his team fought through alien defenders, creatures warped by bioengineering and desperation. "Keep moving," Makai urged, dodging energy blasts. Suddenly, the ship's core began to destabilize, corridors shaking violently. "Time's running out!" one soldier yelled. On the command deck, Selene faced V-Shark in a tense standoff. "You were fools to think Earth was weak," Selene said, voice low and cold. V-Shark snarled, raising his blade, but hesitation flickered in his eyes. "Why fight so fiercely for a planet so long mocked?" he demanded. Selene's gaze hardened. "Because we learned to survive, to fight back, to be Deathworlds ourselves." The EM pulse detonated in a surge of raw power, ripping through the Vorkan systems. Lights flickered, gravity warped, and the warship shuddered as it began to collapse inward. Kai's team made it to the escape pods, just as the ship fractured in a brilliant explosion. Back on the Aegis, battered but alive, Selene watched the stars return to their cold silence. "Earth was mocked for centuries," she said softly, voice heavy with loss and triumph. "But now its Deathworld warships decide who lives." Her eyes scanned the horizon, knowing this war was won, but the galaxy would never forget the price paid by those who dared to rise.